This is Punjab FC, the worst team in FC 26. So today, I'm taking over the worst team and have 10 seasons to win them the Champions League. But of course, there is one issue. Punjab FC plays in India and cannot qualify for the Champions League. So the question is, what European league should we put them in? Well, there's the option of the easiest journey possible by going to France, as the only team we need to compete with is PSG. Or why not compete with the greatest teams of all time in FC Barcelona and Real Madrid in La Liga? However, I think I want to make this as challenging as possible. So we're going to go ahead and start in the English divisions down in EFL League 2. But as I bring Punjab FC to England, winning the Champions League is not going to be easy, as we're going to have to go ahead and climb the English divisions, win Carabao and FA Cup trophies, and even the Premier League eventually. But like I mentioned before, we have absolutely the worst team in the game. I have never heard of anybody in this entire team. And boys, to make things worse, we have under $1 million to spend. But also throughout this journey, we will have unexpected events, as well as players who won't want to resign contracts, meaning winning the Champions League is going to be impossible. And this is currently the best lineup we can go ahead and rock with, as I do want to build an identity using the 4-1-2-1-2 wide with 2 strikers, 2 wingers, and a creative center attacking midfielder, because if we ever want to win the Champions League, we need to play unique football. But obviously, like I mentioned before, we have under $1 million to spend on transfers, and we could honestly upgrade in every single position, but we won't be able to. However, the good thing is we have 22 players in our squad, which means we can sell 2 to 3 players, make a couple money. But also, I want to see if I can find a young talent, because I want to go ahead and win the Champions League with at least 1 Indian player in the side. And as I put some players in the transfer list, I think that youngster is going to be Muhammad Suhail, who is a striker, 18 years old, 5'9". It is the youngest player in this team, so automatically he will be the one to hopefully win us the Champions League. But of course, if we want him to go ahead and improve, we need to give him a development plan, and I want to go ahead and build him to be the false 9 to create chances for the rest of his attack. However, I do have some bad news. We were only able to make 1 sell, and Ashish Pradhan for 100k. So that does give us exactly $1 million to spend on transfers. And in terms of positions that we need to fix, our worst player is our left mid. However, I think the most important positions is whoever is playing in goal, as well as whoever is playing up top. And I know Suhail will be a world beater one day, but right now, he's just not it. So maybe we should prioritize a striker and a brand new goalkeeper. And alright boys, I have found a couple options, which leaves us to a decision to make. One player I did find was Oti Haiseni, who's a 63 overall and has up to 82 potential. However, he is worth 1.2 million. So the question is, should we put all of our money on an amazing striker, or should we go ahead and sign a worse goalkeeper and a worse striker to go ahead and fill those 2 positions, as all of these players have at least 75 potential and above? So I've gone ahead and made 2 amazing signings in Enes Kamga, a 58 rated German goalkeeper with 80 potential for 360k. And for 340k, we bring in Tino Kusanovic, a Croatian striker also from Germany, who has 78 potential. I know these signings aren't exciting, but in the future, we're going to be signing some of the world's best players to help us climb up the English divisions and win the Champions League. And with the 300k I had left, I went ahead and hired some coaches to help our players grow, as our new signings have joined the starting 11, as our first goal is to go ahead and promote to League 1. And the question is, can Punjab FC and I go ahead and do it in our first season? And we have reached the end of the season, and our strikers have done incredible. 21-6 for Kusanovic, Suhail, our captain and our future Indian Champions League winner, with 11-4. However, our goalkeeper Kamga only got 1 clean sheet. I can't imagine that's his fault. And I can't lie, the growth of our team is looking great. Kusanovic has gone up to a 61, Suhail has gone up a +6 to a 56, and Kamga has gone from a 58 to a 65. Did we somehow promote to League 1? I doubt it. And yeah boys, it wasn't meant to be. We finished in dead last, but to be honest, it was only by 6 points. Don't be surprised if next season we climb up the league table. However, there's some good news. Kusanovic was a top goal scorer, as a team in last place ever had a golden boot winner. And as we arrived in season number 2, we have been given $6 million to spend in League 2. I don't know where this money came from, but it's going to help us promote to League 1 maybe this season. And if we take a look at this team, like I mentioned before, we could upgrade absolutely everywhere. I think I want to go ahead and sign 2 center backs for sure, 1 winger, and maybe a center attacking mid. And let me tell you boys, we've made some incredible signings. For 850k, we have signed Lucas Harrington. For 450k, we have signed Christian Mandic. For £1 million, we have brought in the American Xavier Gozo. And for 580k, we have brought in Adriano Onyegbu. And our biggest signing yet, for 1.5 million, we're bringing in Danny Diaz, who has a whopping potential of 84. And now, as as the new signings join the side, I can't lie, we might be able to compete to promote to Ligue 1, as Dani Diaz is a huge signing and could be one of the players that help us win the Champions League in the future. However, just a reminder, Kamga and Kusanovic have been here for 1 year, which means at any moment, if they do get upset, they can go ahead and transfer list themselves and there's nothing we can do about it. However, as we were simming through Season 2, we have gotten our first unexpected event, and Dani Diaz is feeling homesick, and boys, I cannot have Dani Diaz leave the side. So we're gonna go ahead and take immediate action. Should we give him some time off, or should I ask him to give me time to sort it out? I want this guy to go ahead and be happy. Let's go ahead and let him take some time off. So that means in the meantime, one of these 3 right midfielders will take over. I just hope that Dani Diaz won't want to leave at the end of the season, because that will be 1.6 million down the drain. And it's another successful season for our players. 21-3 for Kusanovic, 16-8 for Suhel, 15 goals for Gozo, 12-7 for Diaz, and 9-4 for Onyegbu. And I can't lie, Kusanovic, now at a 68 overall, has really impressed me. 40 goals in 2 seasons with the worst teams. Maybe he could be a Ballon d'Or winner in the future, or let alone maybe one of our players could win it. Subscribe and comment down below who you think could win the Ballon d'Or for us. And the growth of this squad has been immense. Suhel has somehow reached a 65, while Gozo and Onyegbu are in the high 60s, while Dani Diaz is a 73 overall. I never thought the worst team would have a 70 rating, while our 2 center backs are looking solid, and Kamga has reached a 70 overall as well. But did we promote to EFL League 1? And no, boys, we just missed out on the promotion playoffs by 2 places. But before we go into the new season, I do have some bad news. Mohamed Suhel and Dani Diaz have both submitted a transfer request. It doesn't mean that they're gonna leave, but we're gonna try our best to keep a hold of them. And as season number 3 begins, we're getting much closer to promoting to the Ligue 1 and to continue to climb the English divisions. But I've gone ahead and hired new coaches, now a minimum at 3 stars. That's gonna help our team continue to grow. However, this year we do have 8 million. That is ridiculous for the worst team in FC26. And of course, there are 3 positions that we're missing for a full strength starting 11, and that is the 2 fullbacks and our CDM. Let's see who we can go ahead and sign for the club. So I've gone ahead and made a short list, and I know what you're wondering. With 8 million, surely I could sign a talented Diego Leon, who's playing for United. However, the problem is because we're still in League 2, Diego Leon and other talents from the top divisions do not want to relocate to League 2. So that's why we have to go ahead and climb up the English divisions to sign some of the world's best talents and players. But regardless, I've gone ahead and made 3 amazing signings, as all of them are above a 68 overall. And Ivan Gariel for 2.2 million, Noah Mikic for 2 million, and for 1.9 million, I've gone ahead and brought in Bailey Rice. And if he's anything like Declan Rice, we're surely gonna win the Champions League one day. So the new signings have joined the starting 11, and we officially have a brand new 11 since we joined 3 seasons ago, and surely this is the team that takes us to EFL League 1. However, I'm starting to get worried that we can't keep hold of Dani Diaz. However, boys, we have gotten an unexpected event, and that event is Tactical Breach. Your team's tactics have been leaked online, and your opponents and the rest of the league know how you play. Should we go ahead and change them? And boys, that is a very tough decision, because 4 games into the season, we're sitting in 3rd place. And yes, the rest of the league know exactly how we play and what roles we have. I think I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna keep this exact same formation for the rest of the season and hope that our players are just way too good for the league and we still promote to League 1. And yes, this time around we have promoted in 1st place with 110 points. I knew this year would be the year. And it's just another brilliant season from our players. Kusanovic with 21 goals again, while Suhel gets his first ever 20-goal season. Also, Dani Diaz and Onyegbu still had brilliant seasons as well. Boys, the growth of this squad is just insane. Our Indian striker Suhel is at 70 overall, way past his original potential. Dani Diaz and Kamga are approaching an 80 overall, which is ridiculous, while the rest of the side are very average, 70 overalls. But as we promote it to League 1, surely we could get some more amazing talents and try to promote to the championship as of next season. And kicking off season number 4, we have 10 million to spend. So who are our weakest players in this side? Well, in terms of attack, I think Gozo and Onyegbu do not have much potential and are very low rated. And the other position I low-key want to improve is maybe another center back, as Mandic has less than 80 potential. But let's see who I can go ahead and find. And somebody I really wanted to sign was Louis Berry, a 75 overall player who's playing for Aston Villa and under 10 million. But unfortunately, we cannot sign anybody still from a top division as they don't want to relocate to League 1. So we're gonna have to look for better options. However, I was able to find two amazing players. One of them has played for Barca and the other for Real Madrid. So for 5 million, I brought in Sergio Dominguez at a 74 overall. And for another 5 million, we bring in Victor Munoz, 72 overall. And with the brand new signings improving the side, I would not be surprised if we promoted to the championship right away. And I'm really surprised we've been able to keep a hold of our captain Tuchel and Danny Diaz. And we have received another unexpected event, Contract Showdown. Kamgan wants a new contract, and if we do not give him one, he will be leaving the club. I just hope we have enough money. So boys, the question is, do we have enough money to go ahead and submit a new contract? And yes, we do. He is not leaving the side. Currently, nothing stopping us from winning the Champions League in the near future. And we have received another unexpected event, 2 in 1 season, and it's use it or lose it. We have 2 million left in our transfer budget, and if we do not use it right now, it will not be transferred over. The question is, can we make any good signings with these 2 million? Well, if we do take a look at our team, it doesn't seem we can improve any position with 2 million. Yes, I'm aware we can get some squad depth, but I think I'd rather spend money in the new season, replace one of our starters, and they just move to the bench. However, something I can do is go ahead and improve on our coaches. So I've gone ahead and improved our coaches. 4-star attacker. We were unable to find a midfielder one, but our defensive coach is now 4 stars, while our goalkeeping coach is now 5 stars. Let's go ahead and skip the rest of the season, hope for no more unexpected events, and promote to the championship. Oh my days, what a spectacular season for Tuchel. 34 goals and 7 assists. But Kusanovic did not slow down either with 33 and 3. And what a debut season for Victor Munoz. 13 and 13, while the rest of our players are doing incredible. And yes, boys, we have gotten our first 280 overalls in Kamga at an 81 and Danny Diaz at an 81 overall. He still hasn't left the side, while the rest of the squad continues to grow well. However, I'm worried about Onyeglu, as he really didn't grow much this season, as well as Harrington. They might be the next players we replace. But did we go ahead and promote to the championship? And yes, we have done it. 93 points. So far clear of the promotion playoffs. We have gotten back-to-back promotions and are now in the championship, as our next goal is to somehow get to the Premier League. However, the bad news continues, as Mohamed Tuchel is still transfer listed and won't get removed, as well as Danny Diaz. We might be losing one of the two or both very, very soon. But regardless, we've arrived in the championship with 14 million. That could have been around 17 million if we didn't get that unexpected event. And in terms of improvements, we definitely need an attacking mid, like I mentioned before. And if we have the money, a center back. But to be honest, we still have Harrington and Mandic competing, so who knows, maybe one of them will grow to an 80. And I have built a huge shortlist of center attacking mids, most of these players having Premier League or Championship experience. We could go ahead and go for Michael Godin, who's going for 4 to 8 million, and that will leave us enough money to sign other players. However, I think I want to go for our first superstar. So that leaves us with these other 4 options who are all above a 75 overall. And even though Jamie Donnelly is the highest rated, I think I want to go for Wonder Kid Josh King, who's a 75 overall and has upwards of 83 potential. So for 13.5 million, we're bringing in Josh King, who actually scored a goal against Chelsea but was disallowed. So this guy has to be a huge talent. And as Josh King joins the starting 11, I know very soon we're going to be signing some of the world's best players in the game, as well as starting to win trophies and eventually the Champions League. Let's hope we can maintain our form and go back to back promotions. And we have gotten another unexpected event with Danny Diaz. Leave of absence. He's going to take a day off with an urgent family issue. So of course it's a family emergency. We're going to go ahead and let him take that leave of absence. But let's just hope he doesn't continue to come to us. And boys, we have gotten another contract showdown. This time it's for one of our center backs in Mandic. But if you do remember, we spent all of our money on Josh King. So let's just hope whatever we do offer him is enough to keep him. If not, we will be losing Mandic when we could have just signed a worse attacking mid and gotten another center back. But like I mentioned before, boys, are we gonna have enough money to go ahead and keep Mandic? He's at a 76 overall, submitted a transfer request, and yes, we could make an offer. He has accepted. He is not leaving Punjab FC. And no, at the end of the season, we finished in the promotional playoff. It's good, but I really wanted automatic promotion. However, the good thing is we beat Millwall and are now in the playoff final against Burnley. Beating Burnley is going to be difficult. But before we get to the final, Suhail has had a brilliant season again. 20-5 now out of 79 overall. He has come a long way. And this is what the squad is looking like as of right now. 85 rated for Danny Diaz is ridiculous. 84 rated for Kamga is also pretty insane for a championship player. But the question is, can we go ahead and promote to the Premier League to kickstart our journey to go ahead and winning the Champions League? But we still have a very long way, and it's 1-0 victory. Danny Diaz sending us straight to the Premier League, the man who's been homesick. But as we have achieved promotion to the Premier League, obviously our goal up next is to go ahead and win a domestic trophy, whether it's the FA Cup or the Carabao. And as we arrive to the brand new season, there is some terrible news. As per usual, Danny Diaz still wants to leave the club, it seems, but hasn't left just yet. However, he does have one less than a year in his contract, which means by the end of the season, he'll leave on a free. If 1, we don't accept an offer, 2, convince him to stay, or 3, include him in a swap deal. I'm gonna have to go ahead and take a look at our options. But we do now have 57 million to go ahead and spend on transfers. Let's see what we can do with Danny Diaz. And as we take a look at our side, I think the improvements are very clear. Another center back to play next to Dominguez, and a replacement for Danny Diaz, whether we sell him or include him in a swap deal. And boys, I do have a very interesting idea. I said one day we'd be able to bring in superstars, and I think that day has arrived. I have shortlisted Rodrigo, but he is worth 126 to 169 million. However, if we can include Danny Diaz plus some money, we can get a 90 overall player that can help us win our first trophy. So let's go ahead and try and make an offer here. How much is Danny Diaz worth? 119 million. Oh, they should be happy with that. Let's go ahead and give them 20 million as well. I am overpaying a bit, but I want them to accept. And they want 27 million plus Danny Diaz. I'm gonna go ahead and lower that to 25 million and call it a day. I think they're gonna say yes. And yes, boys, we're about to get Rodrigo Goes, one of the best players in world football. So for 25 million and Danny Diaz, we have brought in a 90 rated Rodrigo. A salute to Danny Diaz because he's been absolutely incredible, but it was his time to move on. And for our final 19 million, we are bringing in Clement Akpa, who was playing for Southampton and is now an 80 overall. Surely these two new signings will help us keep us up in the Premier League, but hopefully get our first domestic trophy. So now let's see how this brand new starting 11 does in their first year in the Premier League. And our first season in the Premier League does not look so good. 16-9 for Suhail, 13-3 for Kuzanovic, and 7-4 for Munoz. How did Rodrigo only get 5-5? I'm very worried we did not win a trophy. But regardless, our team continues to grow as Rodrigo is now at a 92, Kamga is now at an 88, while Kuzanovic and Suhail are above 83, while everybody else is literally 80 to 82 overall. And boys, it's a terrible season. We just survived relegation on goal difference. And in terms of the FA Cup, we did not reach the final, as well as the Carabao Cup. It was won by Man City. Our team is looking good, but we're still far away from winning that Champions League. And to begin the brand new season, it's not good. We only have 45 million to spend. That is only going to be enough for one great defensive player. And I think that defensive player has to be one of the center backs. Dominguez has really capped off at an 81, while Akpa is already 29 years old and isn't going to grow much more. Alright boys, I looked through the transfer market and I came up with an idea. I found two players I am interested in Aaron Anselmino and Ba, who both have potential of upwards of their current overall. And the first player I'm going for is Anselmino. He has more potential. I'm going to go ahead and offer Akpa. I know he was only here for a season or two. Let's go ahead and offer 10 million as well. They said yes. That means we should be able to get Ba. Now Ba is a little bit more expensive than Anselmino was. Let's go ahead and offer Lucas Harrington plus maybe 12 million. Let's see what they have to say about that. They want 25 million. So you know what? I'm following up with 20 million plus Lucas Harrington, and they've said yes. Two young center backs that could become world class one day. So of course, Aaron Anselmino and Ba have joined the club, and as they join the starting 11, I beg and hope that this team can help us steer clear of the relegation zone, but more importantly, win us our first domestic trophy. And boys, there is great news. We are in the FA Cup final. The chance to win our first trophy and move on to our next objective. But this is the only chance we get as Tottenham won the Carabao. But the question is, can we go ahead and beat the Bottle Jobs as their team is looking incredible? But let's go ahead and finish the job. Our team is absolutely incredible as well. Can we beat Arsenal and win our first trophy? And yes, we have a 3-2 victory as King, Gozo, and Anselmino make us FA Cup champions. So as we win our first trophy, our next goal was actually to qualify for Europe, and winning the FA Cup gave us that. But the question is, where do we finish in the table? that will determine our next goal. And sadly, we finished in 7th place, which means our next goal is to go ahead and qualify for the Champions League. But it's another brilliant season. 23-4 for Kuzanovic. Rodrigo is firmly back with 19-6, 13-5 for Victor Munoz, and 11-3 for Suheo. And I cannot believe our team looks like this. How is Suheo an 86 overall? This guy's potential, I swear, was like a 55. Kamga goes ahead and joins the 90 squad, while Anselmino and Bag grew quite nicely. I'm afraid Josh King and Victor Munoz are really capped at an 84 overall. Those might be the next two positions. We go ahead and sign some brilliant superstars. But let's go ahead and go to the new season and qualify for the Champions League. And as the brand new season begins, I did mention I either want a new attacking mid or a brand new left midfielder. A brand new CDM will be nice as well, but I don't think we'd have enough money. And it looks like we only have 65 million to spend. That's not enough to bring in a superstar without doing a swap deal. And that leaves me with the two players I want to sign. One of them is Cole Palmer, but of course, he's worth 113 to 150. While the left mid I would like is Rio and Gomoa, but it's also worth 108 million to 144. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I could do a swap deal for either. If not, look for other options. And boys, unfortunately, both offers were both rejected. And you know what? I think I'm gonna save our 65 million so it gets accumulated to our next season budget, and hopefully we can sign one of, if not both of these superstars. So we're gonna go ahead and run the exact same team as last season and hope that we can win the Europa League or somehow finish in the top 4. And boys, we have done it. We have reached the Europa League final, and we will be facing VfB Stuttgart as their team is looking. I have no idea about anybody but Stiller and Lewis, so hopefully this is an easy victory. But the question is, can we go ahead and qualify for the Champions League and move on to our next goal? And it's going to be a 3-0 victory as Victor Munoz gets a double and Mikic, our right back, scores the winner, as we have gone ahead and qualified for the Champions League, as our next goal is to win the Premier League, which there's a chance we did it in this season. But before we find out if we won the Premier League, Mohamed Suhel is incredible. 33 goals and 7 assists. Our captain is leading us. 21-7 for Kuzanovic, 19-21 for Rodrigo, 18-11 for Munoz, and 11-12 for King. I wanted to replace these two, but they're kind of cooking. And our squad continues to look amazing. Suhel is about to hit a 90 overall. What a journey our captain has had. But Josh King and Victor Munoz have gone up in their overall. Maybe there's no need to replace them. And no, boys, we just missed out on the Premier League title, finishing in 2nd place, 10 points behind Arsenal. We have taken the worst team so far to a UCL type level. And now in the brand new season, we do have 177 million to spend. And I can't lie, boys, as good as Munoz and King have been, I think we need to go ahead and replace them, because these two players have been playing UCL football for multiple years now. So let's go ahead and see if we can sign both of these players. So for a whopping 78 million, we have brought in a 90 rated Cole Palmer, and for 44 million plus Victor Munoz, we're bringing in an 87 overall Rio and Gomoa. So as Palmer and Gomoa joins the side, this is what Punjab FC is looking like. And just remember, this was the original team at the start of the takeover, and this could be our final season as we're aiming to win the Premier League and maybe even the Champions League. And we have reached the end of the season, and what a brilliant season again. 31-8 for Kuzanovic, 29-12 for Mohamed Suhel, 18-11 for Rodrigo, 12-7 for Rio and Gomoa. Well, Palmer was a little bit disappointing. But what you're looking at right now could potentially be the final team for Punjab FC, as there's a chance we may have won the Premier League, might be in the Champions League final. And no, boys, we missed out on the Prem title again, this time by 5 points. Meaning if we're not in the Champions League final, we must go again next year. But oh my days, boys, we're in the Champions League final. If we win this, the Premier League will be a failure, but we will achieve our final goal of taking the worst team in FC 26 to Champions League winners. But the question is, can we do it, as the Man City side is looking like this? Haaland, Nico Williams, and Turkey are looking insane. However, they have had a bad run in the last 5 matches. This victory might be ours. Can we finish the job? Can we make the worst team in FC 26 UCL winners? And yes, we have done it. Drawing 2-2 but winning in a penalty shootout. And as Suhel has won the Ballon d'Or, we have made the worst team in FC 26 Champions League winners. If you guys enjoyed this video, click on the screen and watch me take over the career of Kylian Mbappe, making every decision for him.